Very excited to present to you guys today on a couple of things that I've learnt on Facebook ads over the last couple of months. So obviously we're very lucky to run accounts like actively for about 120 fitness business owners across the world. And then we obviously mentor about 500 fitness business owners to run their ads. I have not seen kind of results like we have seen in ads in my time of being a business coach. Kind of Facebook ads, when the changes with iOS and all that thing kind of does happen is sometimes your lead cost goes up. But right now, the results across the board have been absolutely incredible because of a couple of things that we've been very blessed to be able to implement from learning so quickly. But the reason why I love Facebook ads so much is because just a couple of years ago, guys, as a few of you might know, is my fitness business was about to go bankrupt. So what kind of happened, we had a beautiful small facility, and I actually missed that facility for a couple of months when we moved to the bigger one. And in our small PT facility, we were mainly doing one-on-one personal training. At the time, it was about $94 an hour for that one-on-one. And we grew it by using a method called your 250 list, which would essentially be like, Anton, say me and you were friends, we played footy together. I'd give you a message. Hey, Anton, how's things going? How's footy preseason doing? And then would give Anton 3 free personal training sessions, right? And we converted off the bat. And that was actually worked incredible. It got us up to about 130 active one-on-one PT clients. So, every bit of success that I had up until that, and it was like a very small amount of success in the whole scheme of things, was actually done just through, looking after my friends and family and people that I had known. So that was kind of like the only way that I knew how to grow a fitness business. And then myself and my business partner at the time, he's a great fellow named Connor. We decided to move to our dream facility. So the smaller facility was 107 square meters. So it was pretty small, and I'll show you guys an image in a bit. And that also had bathrooms and things like that in it. So there wasn't much training space. And the new facility we moved to was absolutely incredible. So 550 square meters of training. It had a mezzanine level, bathrooms. We stupidly put saunas and ice baths in there. We fitted this thing out. But we actually got ourselves into an issue. I'm not sure if you guys know too much about my backstory. Very sadly, my mum passed away when I was 2. My dad had addictions. So I didn't have a family support. So I wasn't one of those kids where, mum and dad just gave me $100,000 to open a gym. So what we had to do is both of myself and Connor, we put our life savings into it. So we put about $100,000 into this gym, and we had not much working capital at the time. So we started to just bleed money like there was no tomorrow. I remember the first month we moved in, we lost $7,000, then $10,000, and then $13,000. And it was absolutely crazy. And I didn't know how to get ourselves out of it because I kind of assumed, I put so much effort into building this facility. It's a part of my dream of what I want. And I just thought everyone in the local community would just walk in and give me some money pretty much and join up. And it just simply wasn't the case. So just so you can kind of see a little bit of reference, this was our old gym, right? So it was beautiful. I loved it. We had 2 squat racks, little Smith machine, leg press, really good for one-on-one. And we actually started to do small group personal training in here with 6 people. It was absolutely crazy. It was everyone was packed in there like sardines. And then this picture in here, guys, is actually our opening session. Now, it looks really busy in there, but that was getting kind of everyone we knew would to come in, because what we did with a bigger facility is we launched large group training. It was kind of 40 people, kind of like a boot camp, Fit Body, kind of maybe F45, if you guys know that, but just kind of, we had semi-different training philosophies. And then we still kept our one-on-one, but it was really, really hard to grow. And I remember this beach here. If anyone's ever been to South Curl Beach. So here, this is the car park of South Curly, overlooking really, really amazing view. It's about 10 minutes from my current house. And me and my business partner were sitting there and we were about to quit. So at this time, I was looking for a job in some type of sales role across Sydney. And he actually went to university. My business partner was a journalist. So he was looking for journalism jobs. And my biggest fear was how I can tell my wife that I just blew $100,000, right? That Connor just blew $100,000 as well. And he had an amazing partner. and that we're going to shut down our dream. But it all changed 5 days later. I went to a seminar with a guy named Travis Jones. If I'm not sure if anyone has heard of him, he built an amazing fitness company called Results-Based Training in Australia. And essentially, he showed me what was possible with Facebook ads. Now, I'm not sure why I made this decision. I've thought about it so deeply, but he had a course. It was called the Think Tank or something like that. And it was 10 grand. It was like the standard $1,000 a month coaching. And we were losing so much money. But I think it was like kind of like a last hope. I'm not sure if you guys have ever had that in your life where you're just like, well, you know, the ship's already burning, so I might as well just invest this. And it all changed from that moment, because back then in Facebook ads, it was kind of crazy. You would get Facebook leads for like $2 to $3, and people would actually, I remember, would do the calls and people would thank you for following them up. They'd be, oh, hey, thank you so much for the call. Now, obviously, Facebook ads have changed a lot, which I'll show you because they're so used to being marketed to. But back 5 years ago, it was very different. And because of that, guys, and learning how to generate in our smaller clubs, you might guys want to write this down. So if you want to have 300 members from our data, you need to generate 25 leads a week. Okay. And you can generate leads outside of ads. Just for full transparency, we pretty much generated 90% of our leads using paid ads. Okay. And then we got referrals and things like that. And as we got bigger, okay, as our company grew to like 1,200 members, when you have something to lose in life, like a really considerable business with 20 staff, that's when we obsessed about the Facebook group marketing that you guys would have heard us talk about organic, about referrals, about joint ventures, because you will have a time, very sadly, where your Facebook ad account gets shut down. And that actually happened for me in Dubai. Not in Dubai, in Singapore. I was in Singapore at the Marina Bay Sands. Spent like so much money to go there. It was like a really dream trip for me. And we went to the Marina Bay Sands. We're checking in, and I get a message from my business partner being like, our Facebook ad accounts are shut down. So that time in there, I'm trying to set up Facebook ad accounts. And that's when I kind of realized that whilst you can create a 7-figure fitness business using paid ads, and it will definitely be 90% of your strategy, we want to diversify your risk by having other avenues where you generate leads. And it created some amazing memories for me, guys. Like, you know, having this charity boot camp. This was actually for a guy within our fitness business. His wife had cancer. So we ran an amazing charity boot camp workout for him, raised a lot of money, got an amazing community together. We did international, domestic retreats. We're able to have over 20 staff in our business, and just so many amazing memories. But it pretty much all started from Facebook ads. Like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It wasn't by DMing heaps of people on Instagram, even though we did that at a stage. It was all by just learning how to run ads and learning how to scale. But things have slightly changed a little bit over the years. Okay. So we used to be able to scale and make a lot of money off selling a 28-day offer initially for $55, and would still make money because our cost of acquisition was so low. Cost of acquisition when we first started running ads would be about $12. And what that means is we would get like $3 leads on Facebook, would get 4 leads. So that costs us $12, and we could convert 1 out of 4, right? So then what would happen, would sell our offer for 55, and then over time it went to 99, and then 199. And now a lot of our best like agency clients are generally selling their front end offers over $199 at a minimum. In the very best cases, which I'm going to kind of show you guys, they're usually selling their front end offers for about anywhere between $299 and $1,200, just because Facebook is an auction platform. So the more people that market on there, okay, the more that it costs you to get the eyeballs. So that means you just got to increase your prices a little bit. But I'm going to show you probably the guys who are doing it the best right now within the inner circle. So my friends Josh and Elise, guys, they're based in Sydney. So they've got an amazing gym in Sydney called ThinkFit. Really, really cool facility. They do like group training and semi-privates. And this is their stats. I'm going to kind of run you through your ads so you guys can get some really cool ideas. But in January to date, they've spent $3,272 on paid ads. Now, I'm very aware where I came from, right? Like, I've like very limited money mindset within my life, guys. Like, you know, growing up in housing commission, not having much, nearly going bankrupt, like in my gyms. I had all these like precursors, right, that make me very, very safe around money. Now, when we're scaling our clubs for reference, we'd spend $1,000 a week. Now, so for someone to come from that limited mindset to spending $1,000 a week on ads, I want to break down how you can do the same. And it's all just about knowing your numbers. We talk a lot about knowing KPIs and metrics, right? But in here, if we track Elise and Josh's numbers, okay, so they've spent 3,272. Now they've received back $17,000, right? And a little bit of change in the month of Jan. Now, if that was your business, would you be more open to spending, $3,500 a month? Give me a Y in the chat if you're like, yep, if I knew I'd get 17 grand back, I'd easily spend $3,000 on my ads. 100%, right? Because that's like a pretty smart business move. So what they kind of did, guys, in here is they've spent their money, and I'm going to show you their ads. They got 161 leads during the month of January, and they were able to close 51 sales at a price point for their 6-week offer of $349, right? And that's how the whole funnel works together, where now, because they've kind of made those adjustments, right? What you're able to do, guys, is to be able to spend freely on your Facebook ads. And when you can spend freely on your Facebook ads, there's a term in marketing is if you can spend more to acquire a customer than your competitors, you can generally blow them out of the water, right? The person who has the most money wins in a lot of aspects of business, as long as you spend it wisely. So I want you to imagine in ThinkFit, right? So they're based in Mitchinbury in Sydney. Now, they're going to be potentially competing against people who don't have this dialed in, right? So they're spending like $800 a week on ads, and the other gym is spending like $15 a day. Let's call it $80 a week, right? Who do you think wins, right? Of course, the bigger gym who's spending the most money wins, because more people are seeing their marketing, right? Big part of marketing, right? Your biggest competitor isn't actually the local gym down the road. Your biggest competitor is that your audience doesn't even know you exist, guys. They don't even know you're there, or they do know you're there, Dennis, and they've seen you 3 months ago, but they don't see you again, right? That's where if you can get this really working in your favor, guys, you're able to scale very, very quickly using paid ads. But let's just break down this funnel, because I want you guys to kind of see it just in action. So this is ThinkFit. In here, I'll zoom in just a little bit for you guys. You'll see during the month of January over here. So this is like active and kind of up to date in there in Jan. Now, within the funnel, they're just running like a very basic funnel at the moment. So I'm going to show you some really cool stuff in a bit, but they're just running a female funnel between 25 and 45 years old. They mainly prefer to target females. That's what works really well for them. Daily budget at the moment, $150. I'll just say as a caveat, guys, is you've got to just write this down for me. You've got to work your budgets up. So what I don't want to see off the back of this is, Aaron, mate, you're a friend of mine in Sydney now, even though I thought you're in Perth. I apologize for that. I don't want to see you guys just go from spending $20 a day to $150. Okay. You've got to earn your way to the top, right? So what you generally want to do is increase your budgets by 25% per week. Right? You can increase them quickly up to like $20, $50 a day, but just don't go from 0 to 100 real quick, as Drake would say, right? Because it can cause you a lot of stress, because even though you guys will get a lot of leads, if you don't have the sales really dialed in, like Elise and Josh do, right? You can straight up burn a ton of money. Okay. So just slowly increase your budgets up. But I'm obviously going to show you guys like what's possible today. So the best of the best. Now, in the ads here, they're just targeting 4 miles around the location, so about 6 to 8 Ks. As a rule of thumb, guys, no one will travel about 15 to 20 minutes at maximum to attend like a local bricks and mortar facility. Obviously, online, it's easier to sell people in a 20-mile radius than it is to sell people in another country generally. But you just want to keep things all like incredibly like tight, just to make sure people can travel. I was based in like as the Northern Beaches, we did 5 kilometers around, so 3 miles. It was quite a condensed area. Some of our city locations, we only do like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers around. Some of our rural locations, it can be 20, 30 Ks. You've just got to know where you're at. You guys will know that way better than like myself and the ads managers. Just go like around that 15, 20-minute drive at a very, very maximum. Now, within the ads, guys, that they're running, we have to rotate through a lot of campaigns. And that's where, like, generally, if you're spending big budgets, like, unless you're like really well trained on ads, it's usually where most of the issues do go wrong. Because you have to rotate through so many ads and different styles, is sometimes it can just become like incredibly stressful to create the images, to create the graphics and things like that, where a lot of people will potentially use like digital agencies, or they'll hire their own virtual assistants to help with the ads. Just for reference, all of the accounts I'm showing you guys today are all run by our digital agency, just so you guys know. Now, you'll just see the ad in here. So let me just bring this up. Okay, so nice image in here, right? You'll see we've got 2 community-based images. We just call this like a collage-based image. It works like incredibly well. Now, in here, we're calling out based on location. Now, if you guys saw in the ad set, we actually know that they're based in Mitchinbury and we know they're 4 miles around. But within your ads, you want the ads to feel like they're speaking very specifically to the individual that is reading them. So obviously in here, if we go Mitchinbury ladies wanted, and we know the ads are targeted in Mitchinbury, they're going to see that and be like, oh my God, I'm in Mitchinbury. Okay. And that really helps stop the scroll, right? Then we've got the offer in there. So it's very clear. So if you see 6-week challenge, 6-week challenge, it's all really clear what the offer is. And then with a click, learn more there. Okay, so you just want to make sure that that graphic stands out. There's many different types of ad copies. The reason why a lot of Facebook ads look the same in fitness, as a lot of people say, is because everything's duration-based offer. So there's only so many ways you can spin a 28-day, 6-week, 12-week challenge. But the way that you break down your ad copies is actually called AIDA, AIDA. So if you guys search that on Google, there will be some really, really cool articles on it. It's called attention, interest, desire, action. So then we're getting their attention. Then we want to get their desire, their attention and their interest. Then we give them desire, and then we get them to take action off the back of it. Okay, so you can start to use like at the start, we've got a lot of stuff in the Inner Circle portal on ad copies that'll work, as a lot of you guys know. Or you can use like tools like Chat GPT and things like that to like, hey, write me an AIDA style Facebook ad for my 6-week transformation challenge. And then Chat GPT will do it for you pretty quickly if you don't have access to that stuff. Okay, now, that's a kind of overview of the Think Fit funnel. We're going to be referencing those guys a little bit towards the end of the chat. But I know a lot of you guys probably won't be running ads, or potentially won't be getting really amazing results with your ads at the moment. And I had this issue with my friend Carl. He owns Vitruvian Health in Sydney. So he has 2 locations, one in southern Sydney, one in Sydney CBD. And he was having a lot of issues with his ads. So he was getting really, really high lead cost. He wasn't able to get the leads that he generated. He was just getting like a couple of, he does one-on-one PT. So he was getting like a couple of new trainers and just like simply wasn't able to scale. And there's 2 things that we did to turn around Carl's business in terms of lead generation and sales in 7 days. So firstly, we need to customize the strategy so you get lower lead cost or a reasonable lead cost. Now, just remember, guys, I'm going to show you guys accounts. We've got accounts in the agency that range from like $3 per lead to $35 per lead, running the same strategies, right? Your area will determine what your lead cost is, how competitive it is. So try not to ever judge yourself on any other fitness business unless they're in the same area as you. Okay, so just be really mindful of that. You might see me talk in the podcast, I think, hey, Reese is getting $3 leads, and like, don't beat yourself up on that, because in my gyms in Sydney, is out of all the gyms I've worked for, right, is I love you guys and I love the agency. Is give me a Y in the chat if you think I would care about my own gyms more than anyone else's gyms in the world. Give me a Y in the chat if you think that would be true. The ones that I actually owned. 100%, right? It's human nature. I invested my life savings in there and I nearly went bankrupt, all this kind of stuff. So emotionally connected to it. Now, in our gyms, guys, we average $35 leads in our clubs, right? And I was working OT on these things, right? I was running them. We had VAs running them, and then when I started running ads for people, I was like, oh my God, like Dennis gets $4 leads. I'm absolutely like devastated, but really happy for him. Why are my leads 35? And I realized very quickly that it's just different areas and different markets. But two things that you can implement to turn your ads around in 7 days, right? One, we need to have the customized strategy. And I'm going to show you like a very simple strategy that you guys can implement. And two, you need to have automation software off the back of it. And I'm going to show you the back of Carl's ads. He's able to get 40% of his leads to auto book an appointment so that he can run a 15-minute, what we call a triage, to see if they're a good fit and then sign them up. And this just saves massive amounts of hours in your time, guys. Back in the day when we were growing, we call our leads twice a day, text, email, all that stuff, as you guys probably do as well. Is with automations, you can save a lot of time on that. So Carl's saving 40% of his time. So then what you can do is you can spend more freely on your ads if you wish, right? Because the ads from start to finish are getting people to book in and attend. Now, when we have a look at Carl's ads, I'm going to run through it. We're mainly going to focus on this part on the back of the lead gen ad. Okay. And the reason why I put it in the document for you guys that I'll give you is so that you can pretty much copy and paste it into your business. So what we do here is go, wait, you're not done. Okay. So they know they're not finished yet. Now, here's where we kind of like low key threaten them, or get them to do what we want. Our team will call you to find a time to chat. Now, in the chat, give me a Y if you like numbers that you don't know calling you. Give me an N if you don't like it. Let me know where you're at the moment. I bloody hate it. I actually block it, right? So, Kel, if you tried to call me at the moment, I don't have your number saved. It wouldn't even come through, right? So, but hey, I'm just in a meeting. I'm like, oh, it's Kel. Hey, what's going on? Right? So they don't like it. No one likes it at the moment because of like so many different reasons that are happening for each individual. But then we get the big part. But, okay, we don't want to contact you when you're with your family, friends, working, or busy. Okay, we don't want to do that. We don't want to annoy them. Please find a time to chat, that suits you best. And then we just have a little Google review in here, right? I love training at Vitruvian Health. Trainers are on another level. I've been working with their personal trainers. They're amazing personal trainers. Give me the best programs ever. He's got that off Google, and then they can book a time to chat here. And so that means is 40% of people are coming through. The best I've seen is a gym called the Body Consultants in Rockingham. My friend named David Pugh, we have him on the podcast a bit because he's a full expert at it. He gets 65% of his leads to auto book, and that's an annual average of 2022. So he's very, very good at it. Carl's not at that level yet because of a couple of things, but we will get there. It takes a little bit of time, but just having those two things working together, guys, save you an absolute ton of time. Now, let's just break down Carl's funnels. Okay, so in here, as we go across, right, what we were able to do with Carly, great dude, Carl, as well. Very nice fellow, as you guys all are in fitness. Now, you'll see here in his ads, like $200 leads, $70 leads, $63 leads. He had a campaign. This campaign, he got $17 leads on, was great, but they were all outside of the area, which happens in city locations if we don't have the right questions. So he was just having a torrid time on his ads. When we kind of set them up last week, this is over the last 7 days now. His CBD location, he's spending a bit more money for sure, got 62 leads, and his Sutherland location in here got 19 leads. Okay, so very, very simple, right? The way we set them up, though, is a little bit complex in this way that we set them up, but it is the most effective way to run your ads if you want to get a lot of leads. Now, what we've done, guys, is we've actually set up 6 ad sets, and I'm going to break this down in a moment. It's called the Rick Gisbert's method, and I'll give you a cool little story behind it. So what we've done is we're running fit over 50 male and female, fit over 40 male and female in a 28-day challenge. Okay, so pretty much we're targeting all markets. Now, what's very interesting for me as a marketer is you'll see in here, see the different lead costs, right? Give me a Y in the chat if you can see that. Okay, so you've got 15, 18, 15, $37, 33, and $22.76. Now, overall, right, Carl's really happy in comparison to what he was getting. Okay, but what we're able to do is to segment the budgets now based on what's working best that month or that week. So you're seeing here on the higher lead cost, this one that's at 37, like there's no point just getting $37 leads if we can get $15 up here, right? So we always want to get the cheapest lead cost and the best conversion. So then we're just able to customize his budgets based on what is suiting him best and what is performing best in the market. Now, off the back of the ads, guys, I just want to show you kind of like the lead form in here. So you're seeing here, Carl's just using, again, standardized copy, nice basic image. We're looking for eight men who want to transform their bodies over the next 28 days. But I just kind of want to show you the lead form, because if we get that right, it will save up to 40% of your time, maybe even a bit more. So on the lead form here, which we predominantly use in Facebook ads, you set them up over in here. We've got what the offer is, okay? And it's really important that if you call your ad a 28-day transformation program or whatever, that you use that word all throughout the ads, okay? So we want to have transparency of what the offer is. Then what we do is we just say what's included, okay? And you see we've put some value in there. So they get 2 PT sessions per week, value $480. Body composition scans, they get their consultation, they get a weekly check-in and nutrition plan. And then we're telling them what to do next. Now, as a marketing concept, so this is all about paid ads. As a marketing concept, if you write this down, when you get a pen and paper, tell people what they do next in all of your marketing. Okay, if that makes sense, give me a Y in the chat. Okay, tell them what to do. Now, I just told you guys what to do next. If you want them to tap next on your ad, tell them. If you want them to book in for a call, tell them. If you want people, if you're doing an Instagram reel and you want people to comment below if they've watched it, tell them in the reel. Okay, it's for all concepts of marketing, right? Tell them what the next step is if you want them to take action, especially important in paid ads. But if you guys are able to do that with your call to actions in all forms of marketing, right, you will get better reply rates or people taking action a lot more off your ads. I actually learned that off Grant Cardone, who's been a big mentor of mine, but it really effective in the ads. Now, here's where we had to optimize Carl's ads. And this is more specific for city people. He's working in 3 clubs, Circular Quay, Martin Place, Hyde Park. So then we have options of what club they want to go to. And this is what is fixed up. Like people from, like, say, Newcastle. I love Newcastle. They come up to Sydney. Somehow they get pixeled in the ads because Facebook, whilst great, isn't perfect. Then they would opt in and Carl would call them back. Oh, I'm from like Newcastle. It's like, damn it, can't help you. So just having that pre-qualification in there really, really helps. Then we go through, okay, you get their name. So full name, we get their email, phone number, we get their email address for our CRM. Then there's a privacy policy. They hit submit, and then we go to the booking form. Okay, off the back of the booking form, guys, it's nothing special. It's just like a calendar. You guys all would have used it. You would have used a similar one to book in for this call today. Just got name, email, phone number, and then a couple of reminders off the back. So incredibly simple to do, but saves you 40% of your time. And for the cost of automations, like you can get CRMs, you can get really, really cheap ones as well. Is your time is really, really valuable. So just getting that part right will make you a lot of money, but it'll also save you a lot of money in terms of, you know, what you do is in your training and being a business owner and stuff. So just make sure you do that for me. Now, you can use ACR, obviously, as you guys know. So like a lot of our clients use ACR. Just for full reference, guys, I don't care who you guys use as long as we get it done. You can use Calendly for like $9 a month. You can use CRMs like ACR and the plethora of options out there. Just so everyone is fully aware, I do own a percentage of ACR. Okay, just so you're not like find that out one day, go, what the hell? But I am very proud of it because I custom built it. You know what I mean? I was like, this is the issue. I got Jackson, I built it. It's got everything that I would want and I need. So you can always use ACR, but there's heaps of different options out there, guys. Just make sure you have mainly for what we're talking about here is booking calendar and follow-up reminders and texts. They're the 2 main things. If you get like a big CRM, like sales CRM, they do a lot of other things, but just make sure you get those two things. Now, my friend Rick Gisbert's actually taught us the method that I showed you. Now, I met Rick pretty much like the start of last year. So he's become like a very good friend of mine. We're very, very similar in many ways, but Rick was in a lot of pain in his business. So he's based in Victoria, which was the most locked down place on earth, I believe, or it's definitely in the top 5. So his business was kind of doing really, really, really well. Then the lockdowns happened. And I think in Victoria, it was like lockdown, then lockdown, then lockdown, then lockdown, then lockdown. So pretty much his business was like crippled. You know what I mean? They lost so many members. It was really, really challenging. But Rick actually developed a new challenge for us because what he wanted to do, the average person we work with, they spend about $350 a week on their ads. Just so you know, that's the average across the 100 we work with. Now, Rick wanted to spend $1,500 a week on his ads. So I was like, with new problems or new problems, you have to create new solutions. And that's where we created the Rick Gisbert's method. It's named after him because so many of our clients now use it. And I just kind of wanted to break it down for you. Okay. So what we're able to do, and I'll show you Rick's accounts of 2 main campaigns in here, right? You'll see his 28-day challenge in here, which is still running, has got 563 leads. And his 6-week challenge that he runs has got 221 leads. Now, one of the things as you start to scale a bigger business, right? When you're small, guys, you can change your offer from 21 days to 6 weeks to 8 weeks in an instant, right? If you've got 2 staff members, I could change my offer now. Now, in a sizable club, Rick has about 1,400 members now. Whenever he changes an offer or whenever we change an offer at Code 5, let me know in the chat how long you think it took to train and educate our team on an offer change. So just changing from 28 days to 6 weeks. Have a guess about how long it takes when you have a big company. Guess. It's in weeks. Guess 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. How much we plan? 3 weeks, 5 weeks. Jared, hey Jared, brother, how you doing? So in Code 5, Anton, you got it. If we wanted to change an offer from 28 days to 10 weeks, which we did, we had to train our team for 3 weeks, right? So in Rick's business, right, with a big team, he's got a manager, he's got sales reps, right? If we change offer from 28 days to 6 weeks again, we've got to train his team, make sure they know, make sure all the automations are set up, make sure the pricing's set up. There's so many variables. And it's why quite often in fitness businesses, even like when you're starting out, if you're under 100 members, changing your offer really frequently actually hampers your growth, doesn't actually accelerate it. So in our clubs, we used a 28-day challenge for 5 years. Right? We ran the same offer for 5 years. The only time we changed it was 2 to 3 times a year where we ran our 10-week challenge, which was an internal and an external offer. So try not to change your offers too much. And with this method, what you're able to do is to run the same campaigns, right, for a very, very long time. So I wanted to just kind of screenshot in the document. We will go into the ads in a moment, but you'll see in here, he's just using the same method. Okay, he's got fit over 50 female, right? He's got his fit over 40 female, 25 to 39-year-old male, and then it repeats. Now, something very interesting in here when we start to track the data is for some reason, Rick's team weren't converting fit over 50 male very, very well, right? We got into some data. We're kind of unsure why. It was just the way that the gym was positioned wasn't a great fit. So we actually killed that campaign. But what we're able to do, and I'm running through the 28-day here, is what you're able to do is to just run one singular campaign for a very long period of time. So you're seeing here during this campaign, we've rotated through 74 different ads, right? Different images, different graphics, things like that. But he hasn't changed his offer and he's able to get 564 leads. Now, so many people watching this, like either live or in recording, you only need 564 leads probably for the entire year, right? To double, triple, or maybe quadruple your business. Okay. So you're able to just keep it very, very basic and simple. Now, let's just dive into Rick's campaigns just so you can kind of see them a little bit live. I like to show you guys how we get them set up. So again, in here, right, if we break it down, if we go to say fit over 40 female, when you go down in here, right, he's only spending $10 a day on this one at the moment. Is you'll see in the targeting, we're only targeting 40 to 49-year-old females in that particular ad. So we had to do a little bit of advanced targeting with Rick's ads just because it was a bit of a tricky area. Don't worry too much about that. That's like a 1% chance out of 99 that we have to do that. But then what we've been able to do with this ad, right, is it's got 66 leads in the lifetime. And we're able to do 15 different variations without actually changing the offer of what they're selling. You'll see this one has kind of worked the best, right? Again, food-based image, which works really, really well. 28-day challenge, last chance, very, very simple. Now, one of the hard things is with the graphics, guys, as I show you, is we'll rotate through about 100 different graphics every single month across all of our accounts. Is the graphics that I'm showing you today work the best right now, but generally in about a 4 to 6 week period, they cool off because we're not the only ones running them. There's online trainers and other gyms. So when people start to see a certain style of ad or image, they get used to seeing it. So then it's not as powerful, right? So then you'll have to rotate through these images a lot. I'm going to just give you the best ones in a moment when I run through the ads that are working right now. But just make sure you reach out to us. You can always give me an email, support@Legacy Digital. Just go a subject, what images are working best right now. And then my team will send you guys over a Loom video. Go, hey, Dennis, brother, here's what's working the best right now. If you guys are going to kind of run your ads yourself. Okay. And then just finally, guys, like on piecing all of this together. Okay. Now, I've given you like a lot of like information here today, a lot of things to help. Out of everything, I just want you guys to run ads and know what's possible. I want you guys to like be a little bit pumped up by like what Rick and Elise have done to go, hey, you know, maybe you've had a bad experience in the past and it hasn't worked for you. Maybe you've never run ads, or maybe, you know, your ads aren't working the way you want at the moment. That's totally cool. And just remember, guys, we only lose when we quit, right? We've got to admit, right? From what you've seen in the chat, can you just admit, no matter what has happened in your past or what you heard, give me a why if you believe you can make money off Facebook ads. Give me a why in the chat if you believe it's possible, right? Because I know a lot of people have been burnt, and even I've been burnt myself. There was sometimes in my journey, guys, I was paying $300 per lead, right? So we can get great inspiration off the people like Elise, off the people like Carl, off the people like Rick. And I want you guys to know that you can. Right. But if we implement the basic strategies, we implement the ads like I'm about to show you, and you have your booking link. If you get those things right, you're going to be 75% on your way to success right now. Now, with the ads, guys, here's kind of what's working best at the moment. Okay. Well, not kind of, here's what's working best. So on accounts like Rick's, okay, so we're using these stock images. Now, the reason why we use stock images a little bit, and you want to try and steer clear of like IFBB models and things as much as you can. Like say, like men, you don't have as many issues, right? So in your ads with men, you can do super jack guys that look like The Rock, right? And you won't have too many issues. Now, in all of the ads we've ran, with the way that the female market is acting at the moment and what their beliefs are, it's changed. Is if you put like super shredded IFBB females in there, you don't get as good a lead cost overall, like just like super lean chicks. And also as well, you can cop a lot of hate on your ads. So just be really mindful of that. So in our stock images, the reason we use them is a lot of you guys don't have amazing images and graphics in your business, right? You haven't had professional photographers come through, right? And the image is so important. So we'll use stock images off Canva. Now you'll see this lady, like she's beautiful, right? She's pretty fit, she's pretty healthy, but she doesn't have like a gaping crazy like six pack and is super lean, and the image is overtly sexual, right? Which used to work a lot on Facebook ads in 2 to 3 years, right? But in here for women over 40, 28-day challenge, nice and simple, right? Incredibly simple, what the offer is, who it's for. Obviously, that image is only going to go to our fit over 40 females. Then we've got a guy in here. Look how happy he looks, right? He's happy. He's on a roller. He's cruising. Life looks pretty good for him. For men over 50s, 28-day challenge. So again, it's the same template. It's just changed over, just with a little bit of a different image. And on your images, guys, you've got to make sure, like, see how you guys can read that now and it's not very big? Is that's the size of your ad on your phone, right? So if you make your graphics like too fancy where you can't read it, is people don't know what the offer is. They get confused and they just keep scrolling. So just simple block letters that is very, very easy to read. Okay. Don't overcomplicate the graphic part and don't overcomplicate the font. Less fancier, the better. Okay. Just very, very simple. And then we've got ThinkFit in here with 2 different images. Now, these community images work really well. One of the benefits of ThinkFit that works really well if they've had a professional photographer come in. So then these images are great. This lady, she's moving well, nice lateral lunge, right? Community images do work well as long as the image is high quality. So if you've got people moving or you've got people in like a community, like 10, 15 people after a class, those do work well. And then we've got our collage-based image, which works sick too, right? I kind of covered through that one, right? You guys can use that. We create all of our images in Canva, guys. We're not using like any crazy advanced like Photoshop tools. We do have like a lot of templates and things like that. The inner circle members, you're able to email over. We've got templates of like 15 different templates that you can just copy and paste into your business. It's all pretty easy, okay? And then just finally, I want you to know what's truly possible. Okay, on your ads. And when you piece all of this together, I'm going to break down how Josh and Elisa's funnels work. Okay, so it's just an absolutely no-brainer that off the back of it, you start to run ads as of, next week or whenever you want to get started. So this is Josh and Elise, if you remember from the start. Okay, they spent $3,272. They got 161 leads, 51 sales, $17,000. So they're already probably pretty happy. They made about 14 grand. But in your fitness businesses, guys, when you're running what we call a front end offer, which is a six week or a 28 days most common. Now, in the chat, give me a why. Do you want that person to stay for 6 weeks and then leave and never see them? Or give me an N in the chat if you want them to stay for the 6 weeks and then train with you for another 2 years. So, and of course, right? So in fitness, guys, if you write this down, all the money is made on the back end. It's all made on the back end when Dennis stays with me for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, hopefully, right? So the money that we're kind of showing on the front end is nothing, right? We need to get that positive because in here, right, when you get this bit all working, right, you start to love Facebook ads. So this month they've made 14 grand. They love Facebook ads. So, hey, they're biggest fans. If you ever reach out to Josh and Elise, they're beautiful people. They'll share with you a lot of information. They're great. But what we want to do as a business function is make sure that of our trials, 50% of our trials stay on after, right? Which in this case would be 25 people. And we want to try and drive our customer lifetime value to $2,000. So what that would mean off this funnel, right? And in customer lifetime value and people staying on, there's a lot of variables. There's your retention rate, there's your pricing, how you upsell people. There's like a lot of little different things that go into it, which isn't what this conversation's about here today. But if you guys did that, right, of $3,000 ad spend, you would make $67,000 over your life. Okay. And that's how you can get people from front end all the way through. And just imagine if you just repeated that every single month, just like clockwork.